We all possess an inner critic. At first, this voice stays in our head, telling us what we did wrong. And it's nice and wise. It keeps us motivated towards goals. It reminds us to avoid a particular food because we need to stay healthy. Or when it tells us we didn't do good and need to train more. It's called the inner critic. The inner critic is great until it is not. This wise voice can prove to be more harmful than helpful when it pushes from critic to excess negativity. It becomes negative self-thinking. You grow and begin to find yourself becoming too critical of yourself. You start to always critique yourself. Nothing you do is ever enough for you. You get into the realm of excess negativity, and these pessimistic thoughts will only bring you down. You see, negative self-thinking is something that you confront from time to time. It comes in many forms. It also creates significant stress, not only to you, but to those around you if you are not careful. Negative self-thinking can take many forms. It can come plainly like, I can never do anything right. Or sound grounded as, I'm not good at this, so I should avoid attempting it for my own personal safety. It may seem like a realistic assessment of a situation. I got a B on this test. I guess I'm not too good at anything in school. And then you devolve into fear-based fantasy. I'll never be able to go to a good college. The musings of your inner critique may sound a lot like a critical parent or friend from your past. Negative self-thinking is any inner dialogue you have with yourself that may be restricting your ability to believe in yourself and your own capacities and to reach your potential. It is any thought that dwindles your ability to make optimistic changes in your life or your belief in yourself to do so. Negative self-thinking is not only stressful, but it can really impede your triumph. It can damage you in ways. That is why you must stop it. Stop engaging negative self-talk. When you focus on negative thoughts, you decrease your motivation. You are weighed down by a feeling of helplessness. Negative self-thinking has the ability to make you depressed. You have to stop it. Negative self-thinking can lead to a downward ability in you to see opportunities. It will also decrease your disposition to capitalize on these opportunities. Thinking of yourself negatively will limit you. The more you tell yourself you can't do something, the more you believe it. Perfectionism is not always attainable, but you will struggle to be perfect instead of just being good at what you do. It will be a never-ending rat race for you. Many high achievers tend to do better than their perfectionistic or negative self-thinking counterpart because they are naturally less overwhelmed and are delighted with a job well done. They don't pick it apart and try to zero in on what could have been better. The constant self-criticism will make you seem needy and insecure, or you turn your negative self-talk into more general negative habits that bother others. A lack of communication and even a playful amount of criticism can take a toll. Now, one of the most obvious drawbacks of negative self-talk is that it's not positive. It sounds simple, but positive self-talk is truly a great predictor of success. There are many ways to reduce the self-talk in your daily life. You can catch your critic. Notice immediately when you're being self-critical and stop. You should remember that your thoughts and feelings are not always reality. They do not define you. You may feel like you're just making observations about yourself, but you should not consider those awful observations accurate. Most times, these negative thoughts are skewed. You need to also recognize that your inner critique is a force outside of you. This way, you realize that you don't have to agree with what you hear inside. Do this and see how your words become less threatening and how ridiculous these thoughts are. If you find yourself thinking wrongly every time, change your negativity to neutrality. Turn "I can't" to "I am not sure, but I will try." That's a healthy start. Use gentle words and see how you stop thinking negatively completely. Put a limit on how much negativity can come for you. Be very intentional. One of the things that stimulate negative self-thinking is that you leave it often unchallenged. Fight these thoughts. After all, if it's not going on in your head, you are in control. Catch your negative self-talk and ask yourself how true it is. Negative self-thinking is always an exaggeration, and calling yourself of this can help to take away its damaging influence. Your inner critic is at its worst. It can sound like your worst enemy. Change of the way you look things would help. Change the way you critique yourself. Sometimes you may be paying too much attention to a small detail. Negative thoughts will always be exaggerated. That thing you're upset about, will it matter in 5 years? Shift your perspective. Look at these thoughts from a distance. Minimize the negativity, urgency, and fear negative self-thinking. And then speak up. Sometimes when you catch yourself entertaining pessimistic thoughts in your mind, say them loud. Tell a trusted friend what you are thinking about. This can also lead to a good laugh and shine a light of how ridiculous some of your negative self-thoughts can be. Other times, it can at least bring support. You can say some cynical self-thought phrases under your breath. This can remind you of how unreasonable and unrealistic they sound. This will remind you to give yourself a break. Replace the bad thoughts with some good